y'all. It's the last struggle, the class struggle.
Welcome to Class Struggle News. The State Supreme Court of New Jersey has had a lot to deal with recently. Now it has another thing to add to its list, which is whether or not a town can ban inflatable rats.
No.
Lawrence Township has a police-enforced law which stipulates that you cannot use banners, streamers, or inflatable signs to denote anything other than a grand opening of what are probably just a stream of Italian-owned used car dealerships. A conflict arose recently when the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers staged a protest against low wages, and part of their protest was the inflation of a 20-foot-tall rat. The police upheld the law banning inflatable signs, and a labor official was fined $100 plus $33 in court costs.
Overrule. You know, I have the authority to do that, because when my ancestors came over here 30 or 40 years ago, they were looking for the land of the free. Now, they wanted freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of expression in any way that they needed. And that includes blowing something up. I don't mean with bombs, I mean with your mouth. And I don't mean oral sex, I mean a balloon. And I don't mean the ones you have sex with, I mean an enormous one to, you know, an animal that represents how you really feel. In this case, it's a rat. But here's what you do if you want to protest this decision. You blow up a balloon of the ultimate animal, MC Graham.
I'm not a part of this, man.
You blow up 20-foot MC Graham's head and put it next to City Hall in your town.
It's the last struggle.
As many people know, the Chinese government imposed a fine on people who had more than one child. But the problem with that is newly rich couples in urban areas just pay the fine. It's just like a price to have a child. So now what China is doing is they're putting a black mark on people's credit history to basically ruin them.
When asked if the previous policy of fining people was class discriminatory, a senior Chinese official came back with this response. 兄弟，不是啊。
What does that translate to?
Nah, bro.
To us, the American dream is nothing.
This is the American dream is nothing. General Peter Pace said, quote, "One of the mistakes I made in my assumptions going into Iraq was that the Iraqi people and the Iraqi army would welcome liberation, and that the Iraqi army, given the opportunity, would stand together for the Iraqi people and be available to them to help serve a new nation." He added that if he knew then what he knows now, he would have done things a bit differently.
My bad.
In Utah, a reluctant child bride told a jury Friday that she was trying to preserve her eternal salvation.
Sweet.
When she obeyed a command by fundamentalist Mormon leader Warren Jeffs to marry her cousin when she was 14 years old. Her cousin was 19, and she said she disliked him because he had once sprayed her with a water hose on a freezing day.
There's not a lot to say to that, but from what I can tell, from what Oprah has told me, a good relationship is founded on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. Now you can tell things are, getting a little fucked up in your compound when marriages are dissolving over, being sprayed by a watering hose. Sick burn.
News from somewhere else.
A Russian serial killer has been caught. Alexander Pichushkin has confessed to killing at least 62 people. He has been charged with 49 murders, mostly committed over the course of 5 years. His goal was to fill all 64 squares on a chessboard. He lured people in by presenting them with a bottle of vodka and asking if they would like to drink in the memory of his, non-existent dog.
Like, what? Would that actually work?
It worked for him.
That's why Russia's so screwed up. Alright, okay, Kobe. Hypothetically, let's say you're just chilling out in a park, and some guy comes up to you and says, "Oh, my dog is dead. I am so upset. I have this bottle of vodka. Would you like to come drink to his memory with me?"
Well, I'd probably do it.
Okay then, in other news, Russian military aircraft were intercepted by British and Norwegian jets Friday after they breached NATO airspace close to the UK and Finland, defense officials said. Finland's Prime Minister demanded an explanation from Moscow. Interception of Russian warplanes in NATO-patrolled airspace has become increasingly common since the Kremlin ordered strategic bombers to carry out long-range missions for the first time since the breakup of the Soviet Union. When asked if these allegations were true, Russian Air Force spokesman Colonel Alexander Drobyshevsky said, "Nieta, bra."
What is the translation on that?
Nah, brah.
For this next story, we go via satellite to our British correspondent, Jonny Bristol. What do you have to tell us today, Johnny?
Oh, hello. I am Jonny Rockets Bristol, reporting live from Bombay, India. In today's news, the Indian Raj has withdrawn a controversial report submitted to their town meeting earlier this week, which questioned the existence of their heathen god Ram. The report was withdrawn after a huge protest by opposing factions. It was presented to the Supreme Court, which is filled with cows, mind you, on Wednesday in connection with a case against the proposed shipping canal between India and the former Commonwealth colony of Ceylon. The Hindu hardliners and their cows say that the project will destroy what they say is a bridge built by their heathen Hindu god Ram and his supposed army of monkeys. Scientists and archaeologists say that the Adams Bridge, or, you know, if you are a mud person, Ram Setu, is actually a natural formation of sand and stones.
That's great, John, but we didn't send you to India.
What are you talking about?
I don't know, I mean, we just didn't send you.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're there and what's up with the turban and stuff, you know?
Well, I was, I was, you know, mixing in with the local culture here, in lovely India, which is where you sent me, right?
Nah, it didn't happen.
Yes, you did. I got an email on my yahoo.co.uk account saying that, yes, I was being sent to India. You even told me the code, which I could go to the British Airways website and get my airport ticket. See? It says here, I don't know if you can see this from all the way over here, it says that this ticket is from London, England to Indianapolis, India. Oh, shite.
Get your hands in the air for a special report. Get your hands in the air for a special report. Motherfuckers, you know it's a special report.
Welcome to this week's special report. We're going to be talking all about Mr. Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, he's been screwing around a lot.
Damn straight. Those of you may know, if you follow Russian politics, his term is about to expire, and the Russian law stipulates that while a president can have almost as many terms as he wants, he can only serve 2 consecutive terms at a given time.
He's got to take a nice cool-down period, you know?
Like most things related to Russia, things need to cool down before they can get, you know, even colder. In a press conference he held recently, Mr. Putin said that while he is unsure as to what he wants to do in the coming years, he wants to remain an influential figure when he stands down next March.
Okay.
He isn't really sure who's going to replace him, although he does speculate that, or he would like it to be his recently installed Prime Minister, Viktor Zubkov. Mm-hmm. And with that, I kind of have to stand down also. I mean, you remember the term limits we talked about when we signed the contract? You remember the contract?
Not really, but...
Anyway, I have to stand down. I can no longer remain in the executive role of the new law in this official...
I think people really like you, you know?
So what? Anyway, so
okay.
I have to, you know, we got to freshen things up a bit. So
we're going to hold elections, or...
No. I found a replacement. He's Mr. Emerald. He's a good associate of mine.
Right.
And he's going to be standing in for me. Don't worry, he's his own man. I'm not going to be interfering. You just got to see how things go, you know?
Okay. All right. I guess we could try that. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. Hey, how you doing? Okay, we'll have a seat, and we'll continue with the story anyway. So this replacement of Viktor Zubkov, nobody really knows why he would choose to replace him with them. Well, actually, the reason they think, a lot of speculation is fair, that he's probably just kind of looking for like a puppet figure that he still rules through. You know, so he's really just trying to consolidate his power over his gap in power that he's supposed to, you know, have. What do you guys think?
Kobe, no one cares about that, alright?
Well,
why the fuck would you bother our viewers with this bullshit story?
Well, dude, I'm just trying to do a story. I mean, I think this is a little whack what you guys are doing here. I mean, nobody elected this guy. I think there's...
Alright, it's obvious that you don't have the New Low's best interest at heart. Isn't that right, Mr. Emerald?
Well, just don't you think it's more fair if we have, like, free and open elections?
Mr. Emerald? Get him!
Hey, what the fuck? Stop it! Hey, help! Somebody out there! Help! Help! Hey!
Get the tank! Get the tank! I love democracy.
Beast of the Week.